Writing great books is what our bookosmians do, and taking them places is our job. So, very excited to see our books Mahabharata Unheard Voices, written by Aashritha Surya Prakash, and A Diary of a Not So Popular Kid, written by Utpal Raja at the iconic Global Book Fair, New Delhi. Let's meet our young authors at Bookosmia Spotlighting Young Talent. So, hi Utpal and Ashrita. Welcome to Bookosmia Spotlighting Young Talent. And first of all, congratulations to you both for this big achievement. Your debut book will be at the Global Book Fair, New Delhi. What is your reaction on this? How did you feel when you came to know about it?
I was super happy, and then I was like actually mind blown for a second because I was wondering, is this really true? And then I'm like, wow, fantastic. And I was really very happy about it.
For me, it's the same feeling that's been going on since July when I published my book. It's this like, how did I end up here? How did this happen? Is this real type of feeling? Continuous.
Looks like a dream. So while writing the book, have you ever thought about something big will happen, or your book will go this far? Any kind of thought at that time?
My only thought was that I wanted everybody to read the book and enjoy the pleasure of reading, just like how I enjoy reading.
When I was writing the book, I never thought something like this would happen. I just wanted to share the story that was in my heart that has kept me going. And I wanted to maybe make some other person feel like I did whenever I heard the stories.
That's the best thought, that we should have while writing a book. So, Ashrit and Utpal, please give us little brief about your book for our viewers. Like, don't reveal the secrets and suspense and all, but just give us a brief about your book.
Yeah, so this is my book. It's Diary of a Not So Popular Kid, and I'm very happy for being able to publish my book. It was actually one of my many dreams to publish a book and be an author. I like to read storybooks and even write a few small stories on the way. And now I'm able to publish a book, and I'm very happy about it. So my writing journey was fantastic. I just every time I wrote something, I was wondering, oh, if I write this, then the next thing should be connected to this. And then if I wanted to elaborate on it, I would elaborate on it on the spot. I would not wait for something else or a certain time to come or something. So overall, it was a fantastic thing.
We have always read about, Diary of a Wimpy Kid and all. And when it comes about your book, which is Diary of a Not So Popular Kid. So who is this not so popular kid, and why he is not so popular?
Well, so the answer to your first question, who is this not so popular kid? Well, I don't want to reveal everything, so I'll just give a clue. He's the main character of the book. And if you want to know more about who he is, read my book to find out.
Definitely. Utpal, like we get questions and queries from many children that, they found the title itself very catchy. So that the idea of a not so popular kid, then they are curious to know that who is this not so popular kid. So from where did you get the inspiration for this one?
Well, actually, the first title I had kept the book was the same thing, and Diary of a Not So Popular Kid. And then I changed it to another thing, but I don't remember it now because it was long ago. And then I changed it like a few times. And then in the end, I fixed to this title. I'm like, no, I don't want any other title. Let this be the original title and let it create a series and collection of books.
Definitely. So, Utpal, writing book was difficult or it was easy? What was your experience?
Well, it was actually pretty easy because I used to write essays and stuff for my school and all. So it became pretty easy. The only thing was when I did like the pictures and stuff, I had to search, and then I had to get a proper picture how I wanted. The image in my mind should be the proper one. So that was the part that took a bit time. That's it. Or else everything else was so easy. Like snap.
Okay. And how long did it take for you to complete the book?
Approximately 3.5, 4 months. That's it.
So, Utpal, like any particular time when you used to write, or you had to have this kind of mood where you can write, how was your writing schedule around that time?
It was not a schedule or something. So I used to come, I used to finish all my stuff, and then when I was calm or before I go to sleep, I used to remember, okay, so today I've done this much. Tomorrow I'll finish everything early, and then I'll write story. And then before sleeping, I used to like not sleep as soon as I just go into the bed. So I was wondering the whole time, what can be the next thing? What will happen next in the book? So I used to think all that when I was going to sleep. And then the next morning, because I would have gotten sometimes dreams about what would happen also in
Okay.
reality. So then I would just write the whole thing, and then it would turn out very nice.
That's quite interesting. Yes, Ashrita, I would love to hear about your book. Tell us something about your book.
So my book is inspired by when I was young. I heard my bedtime stories or whatever stories I heard. They were always about like our epics. They were always from our Ramayana and later our Mahabharata. So the Ramayana is to an extent in a more idealistic story, which tells about how we should be, which tells about like role models. So we should always strive to be like the Ramayana, like the characters in the Ramayana. But for me, the Mahabharata showed the real, like, messy kind of world that we live in with all of its incidents and problems, and how there's no real good or bad, and that in the end, everything is just fought for Dharma. It is all just fought for the truth. It, like at the end of a war, there is no real, in the Mahabharata, that at the end, Pandavas themselves say that they are not the winners. The winner is Dharma. So I wrote about this book because I wanted to share these views, as well as the the happiness I felt when I went into that story. So it felt close enough to real life that it wasn't weird, but also it was a little bit of an escape, especially during lockdown time when we were kind of enclosed.
That's great. And Ashrit, I'm sure that it would have required a lot of research and all, because writing something about Mahabharata, and when your book have some unique characters also, like Uttara and all. Personally, when I read your book, I came to know a lot about Uttara's character, because my understanding of Mahabharata is mostly from the TV serials that I have watched. So tell us something about how did you picturize these characters, and how did you do that?
So most of the characters in the book are based on one or more people that I know. So obviously, I'm not going to name them. But since you mentioned Uttara, for Uttara, I have based Uttara on three people. So her young stage, to some extent, is based on me. Her basically her personality, not her life story. Like how her personality was, how she looked, how she took all the situations of life, were based on me, my mother, and my grandmother. So all of our qualities merged into one person was Uttara. Uttara was my favorite character, and I also used. Um, so I've been researching for more than 6 or 7 years about the Mahabharata, like a detailed study about it, and I've made like family trees and charts and like tin boards full of stuff about the Mahabharata while writing this. It wasn't easy, but I think that's the beauty of it. That it's
Definitely.
got to work.
So Ashrit and Utpal, we have got amazing reviews for your books, and but I would love to know it from you. When your family and friends they read your book, what kind of feedback did you get from them? What were their reaction and comments?
So my family and friends were like very happy, and the day they came to the book launch, everybody were like congratulating me and all, and I was extremely happy too. And then they gave many reviews, and some of them were on Amazon too. And then they all appreciated me for how nicely I wrote a book at such a young age. And they also told that it was pretty humorous, and it was not so easy to write a humorous book too.
That was the question I was about to ask you, Utpal. That writing something which is based on humor is really, really difficult. It's easy to make someone cry, but it's challenging to make somebody laugh.
Laugh.
So, like,
Yes.
is it because of your personality, or how did you develop those skills?
I think that's one of the quality that I got from my friend. Like he shifted to another place, but when he was with me, I usually enjoyed most of my time spending with him because uh, it was so fun and fantastic. I really loved the way he made jokes, and I really wanted to possess that quality. So I started making jokes, and then everybody were laughing. And then I tried to use some of them in the book, and then it turned out pretty humorous.
Actually, the same for you also, writing something on Mahabharata where you need extensive research, where we cannot go wrong with anything. It would have required you to give a lot of efforts in collecting the information and all these things. How did you do that? Like, what were your resources for that?
When for my 10th birthday, I wanted this one really big old like translated volume that was, so the Upanishads and all, so there's a part of them, so that a treatise, so they're like comments on the Mahabharata. They elaborate on the Mahabharata, so they're bigger than the Mahabharata, which is 18 books. So I wanted a translated version of that. It was not simplified by any means. It was a translated version of that into English. I'm also learning Sanskrit in the hope that I will get to read the original books one day and get to know them for myself. But I bought that book. I wanted that book for my 10th birthday, and it took us a year to track it down, and I got it by my 11th birthday.
Okay.
So that was my main resource for this, and also my grandparents who know a lot about this. For the characters, the human side of the characters, their emotions and all, for that I went to my mother. She was the one who helped me while writing this book. Me and my mother, we laughed with the characters, we cried with the characters. So it was a it was a very immersive experience, and I wanted to link it to now how we are. So I took resources from my friends also about how they thought that like a character of that age in that situation would behave. I took information from my grandparents about how the characters actually did react to the situations, and I combined them to write this book.
So sometimes when we see the book, we just see the book and how the author has written it. But when you children are sharing it, the process you went through, how you came up with the ideas and everything, I'm sure that it will inspire others also to, do such things and write their own books also. Ashrita, if you can swap your life for one day with any of the characters from your book, who it would be and why?
Uttaraa in a heartbeat. She was the strongest, most resilient woman that I have ever read about, ever written about. She was the most, she was the smartest and most collected person I've ever read about. And she maintained her emotions and her logical side while making decisions, which is a quality that I hope to have one day and I deeply admire.
Brilliant. And Utpal, after reading your book, many kids could relate to that not so popular kid. So, what advice would you like to give to these not so popular kids in the society who are able to relate themselves with your book and the character?
Okay, so I would tell them that, see, it's not a thing that you have to be popular. You just have to have good friends, and good friends are the thing which can also make you popular. When you have good friends, your whole life is enough, because they are the one who entertain you, who help you in your times of need, and who also share their thoughts with you, so that you can also get their opinion. Like, it's not your own opinion, but you can also get others opinion in a way that develops you, like the constructive criticism. And I would also tell one more thing: do read my book to get to know how to become popular.
Wow, that's fantastic. I'm sure they would do that. And
Yes,
Ashrita, Utpal, tell me one thing that, many children are already in process of writing books through Bookosmets Sprouts program and they're writing something on their own. What tips or suggestions would you like to give to these children?
So the thing is that writing a book, it looks like such a big, like when you look at it, it just looks like you're staring at a mountain from the bottom. And it does get easier as you do it. But the thing is that it's the same thing as writing a short story. Like if you've ever written a short essay or a short story, it's the same thing as writing that. It's just that you have to know how to describe it and elongate the scenes. And it's a really big opportunity to be able to put something which like it's easier to write a short story. So I can like comparatively. So I can sit and I can write a short story on my own, but with the book, you will need help. You will need it, especially if it's your debut book, you will need advice. And I think Archana ma'am was fantastic with that. You have to take her advice. You have to ask her, you have to like tell her your story, what you have in your head, and she'll tell you how to put, like, how to explain it properly. And editing is a task. Editing is a really big task and it'll take a lot of time, but it's worth it in the end.
Did. Yes, Utpal.
So actually, the main thing what I found out while writing book is just to enjoy, enjoy, and enjoy. That's it. Whatever you do, enjoy every moment of the writing experience, because it's not a thing that you get again and again. Like if you are writing another book, obviously you will get it. But when you write your debut book, it's obviously the best experience you can ever have in your life. And I think whoever have written books out there do know that experience, and it's unforgettable stuff for them out there.
Rightly said. And I'm so glad that you both have lived through that experience, and that's amazing to know it. So, what's next now? Anything that you're working for, the like other parts of Not So Popular Kids and other series of Mahabharat? What's there now?
So I want to start, but now since I have to think of a new story, the baseline and the storyline for the next chapter and the next series to come. So I'm still thinking, and then maybe sooner we can expect the next series of book.
We'll wait for it for sure.
Surely, good things take time to happen.
Yeah, definitely.
For me, I published my book in July, like July, August time was my book launch. And from October onwards, I have been researching for my next book. So my next book will be about Uttaraa. The entire book will be about Uttara, and I've been researching because it is quite a different premise than this book. In this book, it was a lengthier story, but it was still divided into five characters. It was still technically five different stories. The next book will be 80 to 100 pages about only Uttara. So I will need to research a little bit more and look up a little more information for that.
So I have a question for you. Can you describe your writing experience?
So my writing experience, okay, this is very funny. So the thing is that my writing experience, how I remember it, is not the way that I've heard others describe it. So like we during the Inclusion Fest, we met an author. So the way she described her writing experience was very different to what I went through. I think that is it's like that for everyone. So I think it's different for everyone. But what happened with my writing experience was that all I remembered was the story. So I don't remember thinking, oh, what line should I put here and all that. All I remember is being inside the story and writing it, and I would get lost. 3 hours I would just sit there typing. I would sit there typing, and I always started writing at almost 9:30, 10. So it was a like it took all of my energy and all my time, and it was one of the best experiences I've ever had.
Fantastic. Really like the answer.
Yes,
Uh,
Ashrita, what would you like to ask her?
I like your writing style a lot because it's very personal. So
Yeah.
what I try to do was I just try to link emotions between the readers. I try to link experiences. But what I liked was the way you sort of addressed the readers. So
Yeah.
there's a direct speech element in the book. And I'd like to know, like, how do you do that? How do you find a way to make it so natural and include that into the story?
So basically, what I did was like the way. If so, I wrote the book in a way that I was telling or narrating the story to another person. So I imagined my laptop as another person, as though I was telling my story to him, and I wrote everything in a way I would tell it to him, but just in the plural form, because there are many readers out there who would read my book. That's it.
That was a very, like, it's a very interesting style of writing. And
Thank you.
it's one of the best ways I think to make sure that they completely get absorbed and can't leave it. I know when I read your book, I couldn't leave it till I finished it.
And thank you so much, Utpal and Ashrita, for joining us here today. I'm sure that, the other children, other viewers will find so many good things to take from this interview. And once again, congratulations to you both for this huge achievement on behalf of the entire team Bukosmia. I'm congratulating you both.